I got into magic when I was like 10 years old, but it wasn't like the traditional route that normally you take, you get a magic set and you do magic. It was more, some guys at school were picking on me. They used to put me into a bin and throw me down a hill every day after school, and it wasn't fun. But my grandpa, who could do some amazing things, showed me a technique of taking away the bully's strength. So they couldn't pick me up and they didn't put me in the bin. I didn't have to go down the hill anymore. Now, after seeing that, they obviously stopped picking on me, but they also didn't want to be seen to be scared of this little guy. So they kind of created this whole myth and this whole story that I had these superhuman powers. So I told my grandpa about that. He thought it was funny, and then together we kind of started to create things to kind of build on these stories, and eventually it got to the point where people wanted to see me do crazy things. Just hold your hand out. So I've got a penny, English penny here, see that? And a 20 pence. Just close your hand down and tie it. Choose one coin, the penny or the 20.
Penny.
Penny. Squeeze tight. The penny, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you feel anything?
No.
Drop your hand down. I think, obviously, when I was taking away the strength of the bullies, that was probably the first ever performance. But then the first proper performance after that was probably when I went to college to do media studies and art and design. But I ended up getting booked by the college to perform at the college events, like the open days, and I ended up doing more magic work in college than college work. So after a while I kind of ended up leaving college and basically becoming Dynamo, travelling the world doing magic. Just write your name on there. See that? That doesn't rub off, does it?
No.
Just bite down on the card. Perfect, hold it right there. On the next card, the King of Clubs. I'll write Dynamo. So we've got Dynamo and the King of Clubs. Got yours in your mouth. Just stand up. Take a look.
I'm beyond speechless.
When I was about 19 years old, that's when I really thought, I had an idea that could actually potentially, put me on a world stage. And it was whilst I was in hospital. I've got Crohn's disease, an eating disorder, and I had to have an abscess removed from my bowel. And whilst I was sat in the hospital bed, I was there for 6 months, I kind of put together this whole master plan. If I'd have died then, which I almost did, what would people remember me for? So I created this whole idea to make the world's first sort of magic mixtape. Like DJs, make mixtapes, and dancers made promo tapes, and a lot of my friends were DJs and in the music, and dancing and stuff like that. So I took what they did to get themselves out there and combined it with my magic. And after getting out of hospital, I approached the Prince's Trust, and me and my business partner Dan, my manager, we got a startup loan to get a camera and a laptop, and we just started filming our adventures. And we ended up backstage with Snoop Dogg, and Coldplay, and Gwyneth Paltrow, some of these amazing, A-list superstars. And the reaction to the magic was incredible, and that moment right there, I knew we was onto something. Yeah, it's the first ever Dynamo series. I've had one-off specials back in the UK. I've been part of smaller series. I did a thing on MTV in Barrio 19, which is based around people's street skills. That was a few years ago. Plus I've been putting videos on YouTube for as long as I can remember, since like the beginning of YouTube, and I've got quite a following on there. But yeah, this is the first real taste that the world gets to see me in all my glory. This show, we put everything into it, and I walked across the River Thames, possibly the biggest thing in magic in the UK in at least 20 years. I genuinely put my life on the line for this show. A lot of the ideas come from, I watch a lot of films. I've got a bit of a vivid imagination as well, which sometimes gets me in trouble. But in this instance, it's for the greater good. Me and my manager and my friends were just joking kind of about walking across the River Thames about 6 or 7 years ago. But then gradually this joke became more of a thing that we're going to do this, and it got to the point in 2011, at this TV show, my chance to really make a splash, or not make a splash in this instance, no pun intended, to actually make this dream a reality. So I think, the ideas come from everywhere. I might get an idea from this interview right here. You never know. And magic's all around us. You just got to take time to stop and find it. Yeah, I do say it is the universal language, and I think especially some of the stuff I do, it's very visual. You don't really have to. Obviously, it's going to make you think, how did he do that? But you don't have to think when you're watching it so much, because everything's laid out for you. And the magic I tend to do, uses things that people can relate to. Uses everyday objects, uses things that we're used to seeing, but we kind of almost take for granted. And I think being able to kind of impact people and touch them on that personal, emotional level, it's really powerful for TV in general.